Hi, it's State Representative Jim Walsh here for our weekly quick update on what's going on here at the Capitol in Olympia. We are now in the home stretch of this legislative session, about 3/4 of the way through. We're basically looking at the last month of the session. The policy issues that are controversial are still grinding their way through. I want to talk about 3 of those today. A lot of interest is currently focused on Senate Bill 5599. There's a lot of controversy around this bill. There's a lot of information and misguided information. A lot of people are concerned that this is an abortion bill, that this is a sex change operation bill. The real mechanics of Senate Bill 5599 are not directly tied to those things. They are directly tied to parental rights. What 5599 says is that in certain circumstances, a minor child who runs away from home can be hidden either by a youth shelter or a thing called a host home from that child's parents or grandparents or legal guardians. And that is greatly disturbing. I do not believe it is good public policy ever to hide a child's whereabouts from the parents or guardians or people who love that child and know that child best and care the most for that child. Children go through hard periods and as they're growing up. They go through times of confusion and depression and other things. And they should not be able, during those vulnerable periods, to run away from home and be hidden from their parents and families by organizations or host homes that are acting as agents of the state. That's not good public policy, and that's why 5599 is so controversial. It undermines families, and it undermines parental rights in the law and in the Constitution. It's a bad bill. 2 other bills that are controversial and have a lot of interest right now are the bills that repair the police pursuit options that law enforcement agencies in the state of Washington can use to chase criminal suspects. A few years ago in Olympia, some of my colleagues supported a bill that restricted police force and sheriff's deputies and others from being able to pursue in a vehicle or on foot, a criminal suspect. What the current bill attempts to do is restore to the police that ability to chase. And the question now is it enough? The bill that is working its way through the system here in Olympia is very watered down. It does restore some elements of pursuit options to law enforcement, but not a lot. And the current kind of discussion and debate is, does it do enough? Should it do more to restore that ability to enforce the law? And I don't have a final word on that yet. It's still being negotiated and debated. But I will say this. I want to see a substantial amount of pursuit option available to law enforcement. And if this proposal turns out to be a very watered down minor adjustment, I will probably not support it. But we have to wait to see what the final product looks like. And then the other bill is the bill to restore some level of criminality to the knowing possession of hard drugs. As I mentioned before, this is not marijuana or cannabis. This is hard drugs, sometimes called Schedule I drugs. We're talking fentanyl, methamphetamine, heroin. Those were effectively decriminalized by a state Senate bill a few years ago. And as with the police pursuit, we're now trying to fix that mistake. And again, the question with this bill is, does it do enough? Does it restore criminality enough to the knowing possession of hard drugs that local law enforcement and local prosecutors can actually prosecute the crime? The current kind of word on the condition of this bill is that it too is very watered down. And while it does restore a small element of criminality to that knowing possession, it doesn't do much. Again, I'm going to look at that bill as it comes in its final form to the floor of the House. But if it doesn't restore enough of a criminal standard that local prosecutors could prosecute the knowing possession of fentanyl, methamphetamine, or heroin, I'm not likely to support it. I want to see the knowing possession of fentanyl raised back to where it used to be, a felony. I might accept a gross misdemeanor, but I will have a hard time supporting anything less than that. Again, the negotiations and debate are still ongoing, but right now the state of play looks like this proposal will be very watered down by the time it gets to us on the House floor. That's it for this week. Those are 3 bills that are still in the process here. The home stretch, the last few weeks of the session, are very focused on the budgets, and I'll discuss those in more detail the next couple of updates. But for now, have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon.